Well, good evening, everyone. Only in Texas could you get the possibility, well, the not a possibility of a total solar eclipse, we're going to get that, but the have a solar eclipse and the same day as the possibility of tornadoes. Welcome in, everyone. This is your severe weather update and total solar eclipse update. I don't think I'm going to be able to say that anymore after tonight. But there's a lot going on in the weather tonight, and well, not technically tonight, but tomorrow. So I definitely wanted to go over that because we have a lot of attention, rightfully so, on the total solar eclipse, which will be a once in a lifetime phenomenon for all of us. But we're going to have the events of the day, if you will, are not going to be over when the total solar eclipse is over. We're actually just going to be getting started, and unfortunately, in a bad way, with the possibility of severe weather. So let's go over that now. But first, we'll talk about the eclipse. So everybody is kind of wondering what the cloud cover will be like, and that's $1 million question. So the general rule of thumb is that the further northeast you are along the path of totality, the better chance you have of seeing an unobstructed view of the sun. I don't know, look at the latest forecast I've seen, I don't know anywhere in Texas has a guarantee of seeing it unobstructed, but as a general rule, the further northeast you go, the better chance you have. So Dallas-Fort Worth, ironically, is right on the edge of cloud cover as far as forecast and what it's going to be tomorrow. So in essence, and we'll talk about this graphic here in just a second, but in essence what the deal is that we had this dry line cold front come through late last night, early tomorrow morning, or early this morning, I should say, and cleared everything out. As you know, today was much drier humidity-wise than it was yesterday. Now, unfortunately, that's not going to last very long because we have this fast-moving jet stream that is moving these systems out and then bringing the next system in. And that's unfortunately going to work against us, but there's still hope. So let's kind of get to what we're going to expect tomorrow with the eclipse. Now, if you don't know, I know you know, but if you don't know the exact times, so the eclipse will actually start about 12:23. And that just means that the moon will start to go over the sun at 12:23. And then totality for Dallas-Fort Worth is 1:40 p.m. to 1:44 p.m. And I will tell you now, whether it's cloudy, not cloudy, partly cloudy, mostly clear, it will get dark. There is a little bit of a misconception out there that the clouds will have a lot to do with whether we see the eclipse. Technically, yes, if we have clouds, you won't be able to see it, but you will feel and see the effects of it, and that is total darkness. So don't lose sight of that. I know it'll be very disappointing if we have clouds around, we can't see the sun, but we will see the darkness from 1:40 to 1:44. It will be night. It will be dark as night for those 4 minutes. So regardless of whether the clouds are around, we'll still get to see that. So, but let's hope we get more than that. Just kind of want to give everybody a quick refresher that it will get dark no matter what. Then the eclipse will gradually end at 3:02 p.m. So again, the start time of the partial eclipse is 12:23, totality 1:40 to 1:44, and then the eclipse will end at 3:02. So now, cloud cover, that's the $1 million question. So it's so funny. We talk about, what's the chances of thunderstorms, rain happening at any one time. We don't get too caught up in, hey, well, what are the clouds going to be like at 12:03 on whatever day? Well, of course, we don't have total solar eclipses every day, and now we're all worried about it, which we rightfully should be. So with that being said, I know this is probably a little hard to read, but I'm going to focus on the 1 p.m., if I get my mouse to work here, the 1 p.m. time frame. There we go. So it's kind of highlighted. I know it's hard to see. So these are the various models that we use. I just kind of want to give you an idea of what to expect. So as you can imagine, the models are showing different things. So the GFS is partly cloudy skies. The European model has mostly cloudy skies. The Alpine model has mostly cloudy skies. German model, mostly cloudy skies. The NAM, the North America model, has bright and clear. Let's hope the NAM is right, the North America model. Let's hope that is right. And then the HRRR, which we're going to talk way more about when we talk about the severe weather, that has mostly cloudy sky to cloudy sky. So the HRRR is the most pessimistic when it comes to cloud cover. So I think the bottom line is this, and I think the National Weather Service did a good job in kind of summarizing this. So this is a graph, the latest graphic they have that they put out this afternoon. So in general, we thought we were going to have a couple of days ago. We thought we were going to have a really thick high cloud canopy. It doesn't look like we're going to have that. Now I think we're going to have some thin high clouds. That's probably 100%. Well, not 100%. That's probably a 90% guarantee. Really, the big question is a low cloud forecast, because that's what can impact the viewing the most, of course. Because you have to remember, if we have a thin veil of high clouds, yes, the sun would be partially obscured, but if you have your glasses, and by the way, please do not look at the solar eclipse without glasses. You could still see some of the sun with just thin high clouds. Now, if we get lower clouds, and of course, it's just like any other day. If we have low clouds around, then it's going to block. You won't be able to see the sun at all, and that would obviously be disappointing. But right now, the models are kind of hinting that these low clouds will definitely be to the south of us, and they will ultimately get here. It just depends on when they get here. So, as I mentioned before, this storm system that had moved through today. What we wanted to see happen was that, get all the way to the Gulf Coast, even into the Gulf of Mexico, and kind of scour that moisture out. And then that way, the further south that moisture line went, the further distance those low clouds and moisture would have to travel back to the north tomorrow, because that's what's going to happen. That system is stalled out, and it's going to start to move north with this low pressure system that's going to cause all of our bad weather tomorrow. We'll talk about that in a second. It's going to cause that pressure gradient is going to cause that humid air that we had on Saturday back north as a warm front. That's the key. How fast is that warm front and those low clouds that go with it and the humidity that comes with it? How fast is it going to get to North Texas? So what we want it to do is we want it to get here after 144. Now, even less than 24 hours out, which is what we're at, obviously, we can't predict cloud cover to that degree. We can predict thunderstorms and rain and precipitation to that degree somewhat. Even then, sometimes we're out of, we don't do a very good job even of that, less than 24 hours away. But cloud cover is especially hard to do. And throw on top of that, cloud cover for any one particular location. So another way to look at it is, if we have I don't think they had the percentages on this graphic. No, they don't. But say, in general speaking, that there's going to be a 40% chance. Well, let me do it the other way. So let's say there's a 70% chance of low cloud cover anywhere in North Texas tomorrow at 140. Well, okay, if you just look at the statistics on that, 70%, well, okay, that means 30% statistically would not have the low clouds there. So you could literally be in one location and be very disappointed potentially. And then you could be literally 2 miles away and the clouds not be blocking the sun at that very moment. So that's why it's impossible to know what the cloud cover is going to be at your location tomorrow at 140. Now, having said all that, again, the northeast to southwest gradient is the key here. The further southwest you are along the path of totality, it is not looking good. Further southwest from DFW. Now, if you're going northeast, from DFW to northeast, there's no guarantee at all that you would see something, but the chances are better. So just, if you want to increase your odds a little bit, then I-30 is your friend, although I'm sure everybody else will think the same thing, and you might not want to be on I-30 tomorrow. But I-30, ironically, the path of totality is following roughly basically I-30 all the way up into Arkansas. So just kind of interesting that it's following that interstate. So the bottom line tomorrow for the solar eclipse is that unfortunately we will not have ideal weather. If you remember the weather we had Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday last week, it would have been perfect for the eclipse viewing. Unfortunately, it didn't work out that way. But tomorrow is just, and today would have been okay. We had some high clouds about the time we would have had the solar eclipse, but it would have been fine, relatively speaking. So it's just tomorrow is just unfortunately not the best day to have a solar eclipse. However, all is not lost yet. So we'll know a lot more, which is kind of a duh thing, but we'll know a lot more when we wake up tomorrow morning. Now, let me say this. If we wake up tomorrow morning and it's cloudy, that doesn't mean that it's going to hang around at 140. The converse is true too. If we wake up and it's crystal clear blue skies, that does not mean that we're going to have crystal clear blue skies at 140. So that's just a long way of saying don't take anything. Just don't take what the cloud cover is like when you wake up tomorrow morning. Don't be disappointed or don't be thrilled. Just like I said, it's going to be literally an hour by hour change, and ironically, maybe a minute by minute change. Thank you, Amanda. I appreciate your kind words there. Okay, so that is just part of the things we got going on tomorrow, astronomy wise and weather wise. And so now, unfortunately, we got to talk about the bad weather that's going to come after the eclipse. So, all right, let's change gears here. So this is something that we all need to pay attention to tomorrow. So we do have a significant chance for severe weather, and I dare say it's a severe weather outbreak. So it is something that we definitely want to watch. So this is the overall severe weather outlook from the Storm Prediction Center, and you do see that orange enhanced risk. That's level 3 out of 5. It's getting up there. So, and we'll kind of go into details of what that means. So that's basically touches Dallas Fort Worth and goes northwest. And the reason we have an enhanced risk, well, actually we'll go to the tornado risk first. So unfortunately, this is also a situation where all severe weather modes are possible. Tornadoes, large hail, and damaging winds, not just one of the three. All three are possible. And so this brown area represents the 5% risk of tornadoes, which again, 5% chance of a tornado happening within 25 miles of a point. If that point is your house, then that's statistical chances. Much greater than, of course, on a normal day, 5% chance. So that's not actually what the enhanced risk is for, though. The Storm Prediction Center put out the enhanced risk for this, which is hail, severe hail, of course, inch of diameter or greater. And so that's that orange-ish color, reddish color on this map matches, if we go back to the enhanced risk, it matches that exactly, and that's why they have the enhanced risk. And then the other thing that unfortunately we don't like to see on these type of maps is the hatch. That's the black lines, dashed lines. So that is hail, that the possibility of having hail 2 inches in diameter or greater, 10%. So again, remember we just talked about that, within 25 miles of a point. That's what that means. A chance of 2-inch hail within 25 miles of a point, 10% chance. So now the yellow and the red, I know this gets a little confusing, but if you forget the hatched part for a second, the red means it's a 30% chance of just seeing hail inch in diameter or greater. The yellow, 15% chance of seeing a hail in an inch in diameter. The hatched is 2 inches, but they overlap, of course. So that's just a real long way of saying that we have a chance of hail tomorrow. Now, like I say, in all of these type situations, just because you have a probability of hail doesn't mean it's going to hail at your house. However, statistically speaking, that's not a guarantee, but someone, some point, if you will, within 25 miles, anywhere within these shaded areas, will probably see a severe hail report. And unfortunately, I think the way the weather is shaping up, the weather pattern, that's going to be true, and probably way more than one. And the other thing to keep in mind is the severe wind outlook. You have this yellow, which is a 15% chance. So that is wind gust over 58 miles an hour or higher. That's what severe wind gust criteria is. No hatched on this, thankfully, but that would be over hurricane force. We don't see that. Now, all of these outlooks will be updated tomorrow morning by the Storm Predictions. Well, they'll actually be updated at midnight, but I'll be in bed. But they'll update them again around 7 to 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, so we'll know a lot more how these are refined tomorrow. But I don't think they're going to change a lot. So in summary, the overall severe weather outlook: enhanced risk, Dallas Fort Worth northwest; tornado risk, Dallas Fort Worth and east and southeast, ironically. And then the severe hail outlook, which is pretty much anywhere you're probably watching this. We have to definitely be on the lookout for that. And then severe wind gusts in a northwest to southeast, northwest to east southeast corridor across, of course, right across North Texas. So to get a little bit more specific, so this is kind of the graphical representation of that from a thunderstorm standpoint. So again, we talked about the eclipse earlier. So all this is expected to happen after the eclipse. So thank goodness, right? Boy, wouldn't that be something if it happened during the eclipse? Although I will say there's not a zero chance that some of this would happen during the eclipse, but most of the models show it being after the eclipse, and really 3-4 o'clock, and probably after that for Dallas Fort Worth. Although we got to watch it. So this is definitely if you put away the eclipse for a second, it would be a very interesting weather day regardless. But when you throw in severe weather chances and an eclipse, then it is going to be potentially anyway, a crazy day. So I'm going to show you a radar model for tomorrow afternoon. Okay, so I wanted to show this. Now, this is the HRRR radar simulation for tomorrow at, that says, is that right, 10 p.m.? Let's go back a little bit here. Let's see how far can I go back? Okay, so that's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So, well, actually, we'll go back to eclipse time. Okay, it's just 1 o'clock, so thankfully don't see any precipitation. Now, this is just one model. So that's 2 p.m. right there. 3 p.m., not a whole lot going on. 4, 5, you see some activity southeast of us. Now, here's where it gets interesting, because 6 p.m., you start seeing some development out west. 7 p.m., 8 p.m., you see some stuff coming up from the southeast. 9 p.m., 10 p.m. So you see these storms out northwest of us, which might be the big old hailers. And then you have the weather that's coming up from the south, which actually will have a chance to be severe too. I don't know if they updated this anymore. Let's see if I can reload this. And checking the comments, I don't see any other than Amanda, so just make sure I don't miss anybody. Let's see. Yeah, that's okay. That's the latest. All right, let's do this. Okay, so I'll go back to this HRRR. All right, go back one. Yeah, I think I broke it. Anyway, so you kind of got the picture from that other, the other radar I was showing you. So let's, matter of fact, I think I could do this. Try one more thing here. Okay, of course, nothing. Better not be anything on the radar now. All right, so let's see if I can go back to this real quick. Okay, good. Okay, so there's 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and then midnight, 1 a.m., 2 p.m., 2 a.m., 3, 4, and so forth. And you see some more development out west. So, unfortunately, it might be a stormy night overnight. And lastly, I'm going to go back to the tornado graphic. Now, again, this is going to change tomorrow morning, but I just kind of wanted to give everybody an idea. Let me switch back over there real quick. So the one thing that's concerning, tornadoes are always concerning, but the one thing that's concerning about this is that the tornado threat, as you saw from one of those models, would probably be overnight during the overnight hours, which is a horrible time to have a tornado threat. So we'll know a lot more this time tomorrow night, of course, but there's something just to be aware of. So there's a lot going on tomorrow, and so that's why I wanted to come on and just give everybody a quick update, answer any questions that someone might have. Thank you, Patricia. I appreciate you. And so here's the bottom line. Tomorrow, and I'll go back to the cloud cover graphic. Excuse me. So we will have most likely some type of high clouds in the area. We could never know. I don't think it's going to be crystal clear. I'd be awesome if we were wrong about that. But it's probably going to have some level of cloud cover. The thing to keep in mind is if we had to have cloud cover, if you will, then hopefully it's high level clouds, not low level clouds. At this point, because the forecast is so pessimistic about having any type of cloud cover, I'll take the high cloud cover more than the low cloud cover. So that's number one. Number two, the eclipse starts at 12:23. Partial eclipse, of course. Totality is 140 to 144. and the eclipse ends at 3:02. Don't look at the sun directly. I know it sounds like a duh thing. Make sure you have your glasses on. And I would be especially careful if you're in that situation where you have, I mean, you could have clouds. I know 4 minutes is not very long, but you could have clouds for a minute of it. You could have clouds for 3 minutes of it. So don't get lulled into looking at it without protection. If you think the clouds are going to protect you, because they won't. So that's number one. So that's the eclipse, and hopefully we'll get a really cool, viewing of it literally. Now, like I said earlier, it is going to get dark no matter what. So it could be a heavy thunderstorm with a tornado. Not predicting that during the eclipse, but if it did, it would all be dark. So you're going to get darkness, and then after 144, between 144 and 302, it'll gradually get light again. So that's number one. Number two is the severe weather part of this day, tomorrow afternoon into the overnight hours. So likely after the eclipse, we'll start to see some shower development, thunderstorm development south of us and northwest of us. Then we will start to see that increase in intensity and aerial coverage. And it's most likely going to be a stormy night. How stormy? Let's cross our fingers, but could see some large hail, could see some tornadoes overnight, which is obviously not the best thing to have happen. Tornadoes anytime, but especially at night, they're especially dangerous. And then it could be a stormy night all the way into Tuesday morning. And then haven't really talked a lot about Tuesday, but could be a rinse and repeat for Tuesday. And it's just going to be one of those crazy couple of days with Texas weather and throw in a solar eclipse. And it's just hopefully you'll tell your grandkids about it. That's for sure. Not the severe weather part, of course. You're welcome, Elizabeth. Sorry for your loss, by the way. It's I appreciate you tuning in, and I just appreciate everybody tuning in. I just want to come on and give my thoughts on things. And nobody likes to be wrong on the forecast. I've been wrong many times. As far as cloud cover with the solar eclipse, I hope I'm totally wrong. I hope there's no clouds at all. And then after that, after the solar eclipse, we'll turn our full attention to the severe weather tomorrow. Because unfortunately, some of us most likely are going to have to deal with that. All right. I don't see anything else. I know it's late. So hopefully you'll watch this on the replay, and I'll try to post this on the recording of it on my YouTube page. You can watch that. And of course, tomorrow, look for updates all during the day. Unfortunately, I'll have to give some, I think, but that's okay. That's what I do. That's what I like doing. And I don't see another comment, so I know it's late. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. I appreciate you very, very much. And as always, I'm watching the weather so you don't have to. Hope everyone has a great evening. Let's all hope we can look at the eclipse the right way with our glasses and enjoy that. And then we'll turn our attention to the severe weather, and I'll be all on top of that as well. Good night, everybody.